Let's use some resistance bands to mimic what we would do on a Pilates reformer. Hi, welcome to Wealthy Boss. My name's Mariah, and I'm really excited about this new format called Human Reformer. Whether you are a Pilates reformer enthusiast or you've heard about the benefits of reformer Pilates but really haven't had a chance to be on a Pilates reformer, I think you're gonna love this workout because we can simulate everything that we would do on traditional Pilates apparatus, which can often be very expensive or bulky to get a hold of or to have in your house or to go take a class at a studio. But we can do so many amazing similar things with just some resistance bands. I'm using 2 of the 16-inch FlexKords. I love the FlexKords, and I'll tell you a little bit more about why I love them at the end. But you can use any type of resistance bands that you want. I'll be cueing you if you are using a longer tube when you might do something different with it as opposed to having 2 different handles. All right, friends, are you ready? Let's go ahead and get started in a seated, comfortable position. So that could be kneeling, it could be cross-legged. If neither of those things feel great to you, you could also do the standing. We're going to do a little bit of scapular stabilization, your elevation and depression. So holding on to the sides of your band just a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. I want you to think about very lightly pulling apart on your band. So depending on the length of your band, your hands may be a little bit towards the end or it could be somewhere in the middle. And just a very light pressure. We're not trying to turn this into an exercise, just holding nice, steady tension on an inhale through your nose. I want you to scrunch your shoulders up around your ears. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And then on the exhale, without bending your elbows, could you send your shoulders down, 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 maybe even a little further down. Good, so that they're very far away from your ears. Keeping just a really light tension on the band. Could we continue to move through that with our breath? Inhale, reaching up with those ears, scrunching up like you're feeling really tense. And then exhale, notice the emotional shift as we start to broaden those shoulders and send them down. Maybe we feel a little bit more calm. Let's continue to inhale up. And exhale, send it down. Now we're taking our inhales through our nose, but our exhales are going to exit through the lips. Let's do one more, please. Perfect. Now just very lightly start to take that band apart and then right back in. So a little bit of dynamic stretching as we're opening up those shoulders. Inhale, open. Exhale, blow through the mouth. A couple more just like that to wake everything up. Last one like this. Beautiful. I'm going to switch to the side so you can see me as we come down onto our mat for our Pilates 100. If you're using one band that was longer than this, you can just place the middle of the band around both feet so you can hold onto the handles. Or if you're using flat tubing, you may have to create your own little handles or just wrap around the ends. But if you do have the 2 shorter cords like I'm using, you got one around each foot. Now I'm going to take the handles in the hand and I'm going to start to C-curve down. Now we're going to see more of this later, but pause when you start to feel that little point of where you're about to go to that point of no return. Notice if your belly button wants to pop up, try to pull it in to facilitate that deeper abdominal work, and then let's lower on the exhale all the way to the ground. And let that head come down last. Perfect. Let's find your legs in a tabletop position. And then we're going to take our arms out wide in a little wide position so the pinky fingers are leading the way. Now, traditional Pilates 100 might have you taking your head, neck, and shoulders, peeling them up off the ground, pulling in through the abdominals. So you're welcome to do that, or you can leave your head down on the mat if that feels better on your neck, and just focus on imprinting the spine, pulling the abdominals in. Now we're going to start to pump the arms, just holding those feet in tabletop to begin with, a little point in the toe. Let's take some breaths in. 5 breaths out. In, out. Now could you start to extend your legs for 5 inhales, and then bring it in for 5 exhales. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the arms are coming not only down, but also out. So we're feeling that in the triceps. We're feeling it a little bit in the shoulders. We're definitely feeling it in the abdominals. Oops, I got my inhales and my exhales backwards. Let's go. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. I promise we're almost done. Let's do one more round. 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug your knees into your chest. Woo, hopefully that got us all activated and warm. Let's bend the knees. We're going to actually slide the handles to the inside of the knees. We're going to bend the knees, but put a little flex in the feet. Now, if this is your first time doing a Pilates roll-up, I want you to take your hands and wrap them around a couple times on both sides of the straps. Deep inhale, and then exhale, peel the head, neck, and shoulders up, and start to pull yourself up, maybe gracefully. Now, we came at it from the bottom, which is the harder half. So let's just practice a couple times on the top half. So again, we can be holding onto long handles, or for a little more assistance, we can choke up. And we can either have the straps coming between or outside the legs, whatever feels more comfortable. And I should think about rolling down about halfway, big sip of oxygen, and then exhale, roll up. Okay, I'm gonna let go of mine a little bit, but you can hold on wherever you need. Maybe you separate the hands. There we go. Inhale at the top. Exhale, peel it down. Inhale, exhale, peel up. Now, if this is your jam, you stay here. If you'd like to try all the way to the ground, what's the worst thing that can happen? We're just gonna try to have that nice slow control, and then go ahead and come all the way down. A little sip of oxygen at the bottom. Exhale, knees are still bent, feet are still flexed. Peel head, neck, and shoulders up. And let's come up. Could you straighten your legs if you're comfortable and see how that feels? Again, you can always wrap your hands up a little bit more if you're finding this challenging to do it without momentum, right? Because we can always flail and kick ourselves up to the top, but we're losing the benefit when we do that. So if you feel yourself tempted to do that, just choke up. Sip that oxygen at the bottom. And exhale, rounding up. Oh, I know, it's a little questionable there. Fantastic. Now, if you had choking that hold where you choked up on the straps, let's release that because we're just gonna come halfway down this time. And I want you to alternate a little bicep curl left, bicep curl right. So we're in a high bicep curl. Those elbows are approximately in front of the shoulders. And we're only rolling down as far as we can manageably stay put. Good, nice little breath in. Breath in and out. A couple more like this, or whatever breathing pattern feels most natural to you. And peel up. Perfect. I want you to keep your hips where they are. Start to rotate towards me, taking your thumbs together and your hands apart. Start with just a teeniest little bit of a hinge. Take the arms away from each other like you're opening those thumbs out to a V shape. And then arms relax as we sit back up. This time, sit back a little further so we're in a hinge position now. We're definitely feeling that in the backs of our shoulders. Feet are flexed. Reach, reach, reach. Perfect. Now could you try leaning back just a little bit more? Inhale and exhale. All of a sudden, it just got real, didn't it? Reach, reach, reach. Exhale. We gotta make sure that we're working that spine in rotation. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale. Let's do one more before we do the other side. Whew. Feels good. Real quick, real fast. All right, other side, so you're just moving away from me, and you feel those arms stretching apart. Notice how beautifully your posture is really held in place through the opening of those shoulders, the opening from the bands. Let's inhale as we open and lean back. Exhale as we close. How about two more, okay? I know you're doing so good. Last one, please. Whew. And let's come all the way down to the back. This is a short class, so we only get to enjoy a couple of exercises in each position. Okay, and if you're using that longer loop, you're still just gonna be kind of stepping down on that band with your feet so that it's anchored in place by your feet. We're gonna take the thumbs through the handles if you're using handles, and then start to take the arms long by the side, the thumbs are on top, and just the arms to begin without arching the back. Could you start to take the arms up overhead? Now I know the speed, if you're using one big band, the feet are having to press a little bit firmer into the ground to keep that band from rising. Let's reach it overhead. Remember how we practice that scapular stabilization, so we want to keep those ears down away from the shoulders like we did when we were in that downward phase. We are opening shoulder movement. This time, as the arms go back, try lifting the hips. A little or a lot, it's up to you, but I want those hips to feel level up, feel still, and then they both lower down at the same time. Trying not to favor one hip versus the other. Then reaching up, retreat, lengthening the front of the body, strengthening the back of the body. Good. Let's do two more, just like that. Maybe you find a little bit more height. Now if your shoulders feel funny with your thumbs going all the way to the ground, you can keep them in your peripheral vision, and that might help you feel a little bit more comfortable in the posture. Stay a little safer. Last one, please. Excellent. Let's take the elbows down by the rib cage. You're going to point those thumbs up towards your armpits. And again, practicing with just the arms. The elbows stay narrow as you reach overhead. And remember, we can stay right here with the thumbs in the peripheral vision, especially if we're tempted to arch in the back. Good. And then whenever you're ready, you know where we're going now. Let's go ahead and add those hips. Okay, let's find two more, please. Last one. And hold the hips up. Hold, 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 hold. Let's take the arms up to the sky, but keep the hips where they are. Beautiful. Hold, hold, hold. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. And slowly lower down for a count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Fantastic. We're going to move over here onto your side. So you're going to roll over onto one side, preferably the side where you can see me. And then we're just going to be using one strap. I'm going to keep both of my feet for now because I have them. But if you have just the one strap you're using with a little loop, or you can tie a handle in it, then let's place that over your right foot, please. As we come up into a high kneeling position, and then you're going to reach across with your left hand. Start to give me just a nice little pull and a nice little reach in that elbow. Now we're going to square the hips towards me to begin. And as we do that, especially as I bring that elbow up, I feel a little something going on in the inner thigh. If you're not feeling quite as much as you'd like, you can reach a little higher towards the foot, and that will choke up a little bit on the straps. You've got to work a little bit harder. Good, one more like that. And then could you turn this time and look at your feet so that the belly button travels towards your big toe on that extended foot. This time as you take the elbow up, because you rotate around, still planting opposite foot down into the mat, and then return facing towards that foot. So a little bit of rotation. Like I said, it's important that we work every range of motion in Pilates, particularly every direction of that spine to keep it nice and healthy. Good. One more, please. Perfect. This time we're going to make it a little bit of a longer lever. So if you get choked up, I recommend that you let go a little bit. I'm actually going to hold onto my handle again if you have another handle here. And this time, after we take the elbow up, we're going to open up to draw our sword. Ooh, that makes a big difference real fast. And then we'll close it. So again, our hips are squared. You're reaching out. You're feeling that strong rear deltoid to do the work, like stabilizing your abs. So this is still core work, even though we're not moving the abdominals or moving major muscles in our core. We're having to stabilize against the movement in our core. Now, if this is going well, you could take that break out of the elbow and just take your long arm straight out with maybe just a tiny micro bend in the elbow. I'm definitely feeling this. How about you? Don't forget to breathe. Let's do 2. Oh. Let's do 1. Fantastic. Now you're going to leave the strap around the foot, but switch hands. And now we're going to just do a little reach over. So we make sure you get that lateral flexion and back up. So a few options for that hand. It can be on the hip, which provides a little bit of support. You can also see how it feels. Woo, to take it behind the head. It's a little more challenging that way because your hip doesn't have anything to support it. It's got to do all the work of stabilizing itself. Or if you feel like you can get there without coming forward, you don't want to have to tip the shoulder forward, but we can reach those bottom fingertips onto the ground for that nice lateral reach. So we're stretching and strengthening at the same time, which is a beautiful and functional way to train. Let's do one more good one, please. Reach, 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 reach. And let's do the same thing on the other side. So I'm just gonna move to the other side of my mat so you can still see me. So you just have to scooch a little bit so you've got padding around that foot if you need it. So it's your left foot and your right hand. So I'm just gonna choke up first and practice that high pull with my hips squared. Nice. Stable pelvis. Hips are avoiding any rocking and rolling. If you're not feeling too much just yet, choke up a little more. That's where I feel it, not only in the upper body and the abdominals, but again, that inner thigh starts to say hello as well. Good, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Now, turn around and look at your ankle, and then let's rotate, look back behind your shoulder. You can adjust your handle on that strap if you'd like a little more or a little less. Certainly for this move, the more we choke up, the more challenging we'll find the movements. Here's 2. Here's 1. Draw the sword at his neck, so we're taking the handle maybe a little less choked up. We're gonna extend all the way from that high pull if it's available. If that doesn't feel great on your shoulder, no worries. You can keep with the high row. Really zip up through the midline, zip up through that inner thigh. And if you tried this on the other side and liked it, rather than taking the high pull first, you can take a longer arm to draw that sword. Just take care. This shoulder wants to pop up to make it a little bit more achievable, but we'd rather keep the shoulder down low, even if that means we don't take the band out all the way. Good job. 2 more, you can. I like to call Pilates a slow burn. You probably can figure out why. All right, same foot, same band, but we're switching it to your left hand. Just want to move that one out of the way. So we're doing overhead reach now. I suggest starting with your hand on the hip. And at any point, any kneeling position starts to bother your knees. I'm starting to kind of Notice I don't have much padding under my knee. You can always roll your mat up under. You can have a towel under you, a little cushion, whatever you'd like. Now, where was that hand on the other side? Where did you like it best? Did you try it behind the head? Oh, I'm definitely feeling a little more work in the obliques when I do that. Or maybe fingertips even floated to the floor. Right, lengthening in both sides of the waist as you do that, trying to avoid crunching along the right side of the waist. Here's 3. Here's 2. And here's 1, please. Perfect. All right, if we have that cushioning under our mat, we can roll that out again. We're going to have the handles around our feet. Now again, if you have one longer strap, then you're gonna want your feet in the middle of your long strap and your hands at the ends. We're gonna come to an all-fours position. We won't be here long because I wanna keep this a short workout and we still wanna make sure you get those feet in straps action. And then your left leg, could you flex the foot and then start to donkey kick back. So a little extension back and pull it in. We'll bend and stretch from our prone position. Excellent. So we're taking it no higher than hip height. We're going to try to focus on keeping that left hip square to the ground rather than popping up. I'm going to try to keep the belly button facing down. Now next time that you extend the leg out, could you hold it straight? Tap it down and then pick it back up. Tap it down, pick it back up. Here's 2, here's 1. Hold, hold, hold. Could you pivot the back shin just a little bit? Pick that hand up and give me a little reach overhead. Maybe you take your leg down and then crunch it in, elbow towards knee. Oh, goodness gracious. Here's 2. And this part is always optional. Here's 1. And then let's close it carefully. Perfect. Now it's your right leg. We're going to flex the foot, drive with the heel to kick it back, pull it in, kick it back, pull it in. So we have steady tension the whole time. And we're going to try to remain in control of the movement. You're doing so good. Here's 3. Make sure you're still breathing. 2. Now let's hold it out. Little leg lower and lift. Tap the toes down. Tiny lift up. The belly button's pulling up and in to support the movement. So we're getting core work the whole time, even though it is a full body workout. Here's 3. Here's 2. 1, now hold it up. You're gonna pivot the shin so you've got a little bit of clearance. Could you reach overhead? Maybe that leg pulls away depending on the length of cord you have. And then knee to elbow, stretch overhead, tap down if you wish. Leg lift, knee to elbow. I know this is a giant move. Strengthening and lengthening at the same time. Reach. Last one. And let's close that out. Lovely. Let's spin around on your back. If you have a longer strap, the feet are now going to go, let's do it in the middle. So we can have, let's take our hands down here in the loose ends and do a little bend and stretch now from our supine position. So let's press the pelvis back to avoid arching in the spine. And if this is going well, you can take your hands a little bit above the nose to make the work a little bit more challenging. Here's 2. Gotta be careful, then my knees wanted to come in a little too much, but I'm gonna try to keep them above the hips. Pause. Now extend your legs. If you wanna take your arms back over the chest, I sure don't blame you. Could you lower about halfway, no more, and then lift the shape of the legs up. Now, how low you go with your legs is gonna depend on you and how much your back wants to arch here. What we don't want is for that little mouse house to come up under the back. Option to take it from here, which changes the work for sure in the legs, although the abs get a little bit more support. Here's 2. Here's 1. Perfect. Now, if you're using 2 straps like me, fantastic, stay where you are. If you're using 1 long strap, you now want to take if you have any loops or handles, around your feet and then hold the middle of the band either here or here, however you prefer, as we take our leg circles. We're gonna inhale, open the legs, exhale, resist down, no more than your back wants to arch, and then exhale, lift it up. Inhale, press it down without arching the back, and exhale. Remember, we can always be here for sure. Could we start to make that a little bit more fluid? Feeling the belly button stay as close to one place as possible. So we want to really stabilize in the pelvis and avoid rocking around with those hips. Now let's inhale, legs come down. Now we open at the bottom and close it. So we're just reversing our circles. And again, this is another option. Pick your poison. So this should feel good. We should be getting some nice hip mobility, some hamstring flexibility, inner thigh opening. Let's do 2. Here's 1. Now could you take the soles of your feet together in a diamond shape? So different than a frog, we're going to take the whole surface of both feet together. Let's start to lower the legs. And let's today just take it all the way down. Stretch those straps overhead, but draw the shoulders down. Feel a deep stretch in the hips. Feel the upper body lengthening. Take a couple more deep restorative breaths here. We've reached the end of our class today. Let's release that hold of the handles, taking the arms down by the sides. Feel your breath start to calm down. There were probably moments of that class that felt maybe a little bit more challenging than you expected. So giving yourself a little grace for that. We worked the body in a really different way today. It wasn't necessarily a big showy movement or fast, rapid movement, but gosh, we worked from the inside out. We got deep within those stabilizing muscles. So good for our bodies. Beautiful. If you have your hands in the handles, you can just let go of that, let go of whatever strap or straps you have. Let's take the knees in. Let's rock side to side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take my straps off so I'm not kicking them around everywhere. Rolling like a ball is how we'll end our class. We're gonna peel the head, neck, and shoulders up as we rock onto our sit bones. But then keep that same curve as we do that 2 more times. Full balance at the top. Last one, please. Lovely. I'm so glad you made it to the end of class. I would love to hear how this went for you. Of course, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what we can do in our full human reformer classes. So I hope you enjoyed this taste of it. Again, I do really enjoy the FlexKords because they are fabric encased, meaning you can grab hold of them at any place on the handle, so it makes it a little bit easier for adjusting the tension on the fly. That way you don't have to switch back and forth between different lengths of bands or tension. So I really love these. I will drop a discount code for you in the description that will give you 15% off if you would like to order some FlexKords for yourself. Let me know if you do, how you notice the difference in this practice, or other human reformer classes. If you're an instructor like me and are curious to learn about the human reformer certification, I can't speak highly of it enough. There are so many Pilates exercises you will learn that are just like what we would do on a reformer. So I would love to invite you to become a fellow instructor, or maybe even set up a certification day at your club or facility. I'm also a program specialist and would be happy to help set that up for you. So thanks for being here. Don't forget to hit that like button. That helps so much in helping others take a chance on it. And make sure you're subscribed for more bar yoga and Pilates workouts. I can't wait to see you next time.